Hey, yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Smart TCG, and today I'm going to be going over a new way to play Gardevoir EX, and that is going to be Gardevoir paired up with Rabsca. Now, this is the list that Michael Davidson used to win the most recent Portland Regional Championship, so shout out to them. Also, Henry Chow was able to place second with the exact same 60, so that testing group absolutely dominating with this list, showing us a new way to play Gardevoir. So today, I'm going to be going over the list, and then we're going to hop into a game and show off just how you should be playing this new variant of Gardevoir. So the Pokemon, relatively the same, except for the Rabsca line. We got a 3-2-2 Gardevoir line, pretty standard. We got 2 Munkidori instead of 3. The main reason is that you don't necessarily need 3 Munkidori down in as many matchups, especially if you have the Rabsca line, which is really, really important. Also, takes up a bench spot as well, so you have less bench space for Munkidori a lot of the time. Also got 1 Drifloon, 1 Screamtail, pretty standard. 1 Lillie's Clefairy EX along with 1 Mew EX. This is nice for draw power at the end of the game. Also really powerful against the Dragapult matchup, being able to use that genome hacking paired up with the Clefairy's Fairy Zone to use Phantom Dive to deal 400 to the active and 60 to the bench. Paired up with the Munkidori, you are oftentimes able to take 3 prize cards, completely shattering their board state. Also got 1 Fezandipiti for that draw support, and then the 1-1 Rabsca line. So Rabsca is pretty much like a super Manaphy. It stops all bench damage done to your Pokemon, including damage counters, which is really important because decks like Dragapult are still seeing a lot of play and success. So having access to Rabsca just makes that matchup so much better. Also very good against the Terra Box matchup because how Terra Box normally is able to see success against Gardevoir is using that Wellspring's Torrential Pump to take a huge prize lead, and then that will oftentimes carry them throughout the game. Now, with that Rabsca, when you get it onto the board and you lock in that ability, it makes it very difficult for them to win. We got 4 Iono, 4 Professor's Research, and 2 Arven. The main reason as to why this deck isn't playing a heavier count of Arven is because Budu is a very prevalent card in the standard format. We see plenty of Dragapult lists cutting down to a lower number of the Arven just because it's a much weaker card, because when you're getting item locked, you're only able to get a tool card effectively because the item card you can't even use, so the card loses a lot of value. We have 4 Ultra Ball, 3 Earthen Vessel, 2 Nest Ball, 2 Counter Catcher, 2 Night Stretcher, and 1 Super Rod. I got a Super Rod in this deck because you can Arven for it, so that's why playing, more one-ofs is a little bit more acceptable in this type of build. We got 1 Buddy Poffin, 1 Rare Candy as well, and then for the A-Spec of choice, Secret Box, the best A-Spec for Gardevoir currently, just allows the deck to get going. We got 3 TM Evolution as well. The main reason as to why we play a heavy count of TM Evolution is because you're oftentimes going to be using Iono or Research on that first turn of the game. So you want to naturally draw into a TM Evolution or something like that Secret Box. So you effectively have 4 outs off a draw support card to be able to find it. So pretty good chances you'll be able to get off that TM without even having to use Arven. We have 2 Bravery Charm, 2 Artazon as well, and then the energy remains pretty much the same with 7 Psychic, 3 Dark. That's pretty much the standard for this deck. If you're interested in the export of the list and also the standings for Portland Regionals, make sure to go check that out in the description. Once again, congratulations to Michael for the tournament win. Has been having an absolutely incredible season so far, and also Henry Chow as well, having a great season as well. But anyways, let's hop into a game and show off just how powerful this deck is. Let's hop into it. Alrighty, so hopping into it here, it looks like we're going up against a Zoroark deck. Looks like they did start that Reshiram. Now, this matchup normally is one of Gardevoir's harder matchups. However, with the addition of the Rabsca, this matchup is a lot better as you are able to stop them from taking multiple prize cards with that Darmanitan. So, we got ourselves a pretty good hand here. We got ourselves a Ralts Nest Ball Artazon plus an energy as well. So, pretty good here. I'm definitely liking the start. Now, this is going to be one of those games where we are going to need to just naturally draw into that TM Evo. This is a reason as to why there are 3 TM Evo in the deck, is because Arven is not going to be the card that you're always able to use on that first turn. So we technically have up to 4 outs to TM Evo. We have the 3 TM Evo naturally drawing into them, and then we also have Secret Box as well. So the spot here, we're going to be looking to get that Rellor down. You need to have Rellor and Rabsca in the deck. This is a really good, actually, top deck here, too. So we're going to utilize that Earthen Vessel here, get some energies in the discard pile. Monkey is not incredibly important in this matchup. It is nice, but I just really want to focus on getting those energies in the discard. We do have the Rellor Rabsca line, which is absolutely huge. Also have Clefairy. Clefairy is not a bad attacker in this matchup, as with double Munkidori, you can one-shot things like the Zoroark if they have a full bench, which is pretty cool. I can also, I guess, chase Squawkabilly and knock it out, and they can't one-shot me back very easily. So there's some like pretty cool interactions I think you can actually do with that. But Drifloon is going to be probably our main attacker along with Screamtail. So all right, we'll get these two energies. I'm going to attach one here just because I really do not want to risk missing. That'd be very awkward. We'll get ourselves another Ralts down. We'll get Rellor 2. Got ourselves 3 TM Evo. We unfortunately did prize the secret box, so definitely lower chances of being able to actually get that attack off. But for some reason, they put End's Castle down. I probably wouldn't have done that here in this situation if I was them, because they're not switching anyways. So if I have Stadium Bump, now there's a pretty good chance they can't even move this guy next turn. So that's like pretty important. I guess also getting Rabsca up is not like the most important thing next turn, just because they don't have a Darmanitan or a Darmaka on the board that can turn into a Darmanitan. So I'm actually feeling pretty good here because I can potentially go into double Kirlia if I need to. All right, I did miss, but it's actually not the end of the world because they also missed. They did not get the Darmaka down. They will be able to get it down though this next turn, so that's something to be a little bit worried about. But if we can just like go into the guy next turn, Rabsca, then we'll be pretty okay. So, all right, Misty Amiibo, unfortunate, however, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes Zoroark has like really weak turn ones, and this was one of those weak turn ones. So that is a little inconsistent at times. It's really consistent, obviously, when you get Zoroark out, but you have to get it out first. So, all right, there is the Zoroark with that trade ability, discard, draw 2. Very, very good ability. Been around for quite some time on multiple different powerful cards. Also got the NSPP up too, able to get that energy onto the Zoroark. Now the big question is are they able to move this Reshiram? This Reshiram has 2 retreat cost, so is a big boy here, and hopefully they aren't. And if they are, then we're gonna have to go for Gardevoir with Rare Candy. So this is the big one here. Do they find the End's Castle? Now, normally these decks don't play a super high count of End's Castle. It's usually, I believe, 2 to 3. Then sometimes they play like another stadium. Some of them play like the League HQ. Helps out against matchups like Joltik Box. So it's not a slam dunk guarantee that they're actually going to be able to find what they need this turn, which is going to be that End's Castle. And if they do, it's not the end of the world. We can push for a KO. But yeah, all right. Big thing here is that we have the Ultra Ball for Rabsca. So assuming they miss, I will be able to just get Rabsca on the board. That's what I'm trying to do. It's just going to be get Rabsca on the board, research, and just say, you cannot Darmanitan me next turn. That's the big thing. So, all right, there's an attachment there. This is a direct sign they just missed because there's no reason that they would attach there unless they did miss, which is really good. There is Arven. So we have a couple decisions here to make. I could go Arven for Rare Candy, get Rare Candy Gardevoir, and I guess Screamtail the Darmaka. I don't hate doing that if I have everything. Let's see. We have Screamtail. My only fear, I guess, if they had to have Boss KO would be kind of annoying. But they would need to find it. And then we could just, like, Screamtail poke, like, the Darmaka again, potentially. So I don't hate doing that. Just kind of hope they don't find it. It's, like, reasonable. All right, yeah, we'll get Screamtail down. That seems fine. And then, yeah, I'm like fine with this. Just getting rid of the Darmaka. All right, we'll go here. Arven, Rare Candy, TM Evo. Because this thing is also like stuck here too. That's like another thing that's like important to note is that thing is not moving very easily, and if they do, they have to burn another energy too. So I'm like pretty okay with this. We'll get Gardevoir, and I don't need Rabsca now just because I'm KOing the Darmaka, so that's really nice. If I had Rabsca here, what I would do is I would just probably go Rabsca, snipe KO the Zora, or I could actually just hit into the Zoroark as well. That's something else I could potentially do. But all right, we'll retreat. Go into a Screamtail, utilize Psychic Embrace, just snipe Darmaka, and then what they have to do here is they have to go like they have to pretty much evolve all their guys, and then KO Gardevoir and leave like no one prizer for me to like potentially snipe. Like that's like probably what they should do. Whether or not they do it or not is the question. All right, I will just hit here, Roaring Scream, 80 damage, taking down that Darmaka. This is like a risky play, but I'm okay with it. If I had more energy in the discard, I think what I would probably do here is like just load like 5 energy onto a, or I guess it would be, if I don't attach Bravery Charm, I would attach like probably 3 onto like Drifloon and just punch this. Because if I KO Gardevoir, then at least I have another Drifloon that can do damage. That's like my only concern here, is they could like chase my Gardevoir, which would be very annoying. But they also have to move this Ends Reshiram. They only have 1 Zoroark on the board. Their deck is like not overly consistent, so if they just miss and they KO the Screamtail, I probably am in a really good spot. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, the other play here was just like research and potentially TM Evo, which I would not have hated. The issue is I have double Bravery Charm in hand, which makes this like very awkward. Like not ideal to have these 2 Bravery Charm in hand because I really need them in this matchup on things like Drifloon. So anyways, there's the Ends Darmaka coming out here. Looks like they got that down on the board. Let's see. They end up doing. I got to move this Reshiram. They're very, very important. So see if they're able to do it. All right, here comes trade. Discard, draw 2. Getting rid of that Budu into the discard pile it goes. And yeah, they're going to need an energy. I would say energy would probably be... I actually would like, if I were them, like would want to draw into the energy because you can get into the discard, activate your ends as well. So that you can then attach them here. So you probably do want to draw into energy because like having this 1 energy here, it's not a huge deal, but it's like kind of annoying. So see what they end up getting. All right, there's Arven. This is going to tell us a lot here. Are they getting Counter Catcher? Does their deck even play Counter Catcher? That's the question. All right, they do. Counter Catcher Power Glass. But that's not the end of the world because we can just KO the Darmaka because they benched Darmaka. So that is good. We can go into the Kirlia. KO. Feel pretty okay. All right. There's Counter Catcher. Switch as well. It looks like they got the whole package here. Night Stretcher. Going to be probably getting back another Darmaka. That's not a huge deal just because I can go into the Rabsca. And yeah, pretty good. All right, there's Night Joker going to be KOing this Reshiram. That's fine. Or using Reshiram to KO the Gardevoir. Now what I probably want to do is if I can trap something in the active and just Screamtail the bench, that would be pretty good. So, all right, we'll go promote Screamtail. Draw for turn. It's not bad. We'll use Artazon. I get myself Drifloon down. We'll attach Bravery Charm to Drifloon. Also Bravery Charm onto Screamtail. It's fine. Nest Ball. Can't really get me anything because I need to use Night Stretcher to get back Ralts. So fine. All right, we'll research 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We got the Counter Catcher in the Rabsca, which is good. Unfortunately, we did not get another Kirlia, which is really bad. So that's kind of cringe. However, I could like trap the Zoroark in the active. If I trap the Zoroark in the active for a turn, it's really bad for them. Because then I can like do so much. So all right, let's just Counter Catcher. Bring up this Zoroark. Yes, they could Ends Castle, but it's better to force them to find Ends than just like finding an energy to retreat. So that's like the logic behind just bringing this up. Bring up that. Yeah, really unfortunate not getting the Kirlia out, but is what it is. We're going to go after here. I don't really need to go after the Darmaka. I could like hit into the Reshiram. That's like fine. I could also hit into this too, but I don't think I really want to. I don't also really want to give them bench space for something like Fez. This is like kind of a weird spot to be in. I could just like hit also Squawk, and then if they miss, I can go evolve into Kirlia, like Iono KO, like the Squawk for 80. That's like also fine. Because I just don't have Drifloon. I just don't have the ability to like streamline Drifloon because I'm down already my other Bravery Charm. So I think we're just going to hit this for 80 here. So like I think my line is going to be like KO Squawk, KO Zoroark, and then KO a 1-prizer. Because the Darmanitans aren't a threat right now. So that's like one thing that's really important about the situation to understand. Just because we have Rabsca. So, all right, there's Darmanitan coming out. Trade. I really need a miss here. If they do miss, I think we're okay. But if they do hit it, it's not great. It definitely does not feel very good. So, anyways, there's trade. Getting rid of the Technical Machine Evolution here. Drawing a couple of cards. Now we'll see what they get. Another trade. Probably going to ditch another card. Yep. Ultra Ball. Another card they don't really need. Usually what you're trying to get rid of is just all your extra junk. Not very good. So their hand must be pretty decent if they got rid of an Ultra Ball. Because I want to use it? I don't know. We'll see. Big thing, hoping, I believe these lists a lot of the time just play 2 ends castle, so I'm hoping they miss that, because if they miss it, then, like, I can, like, re-Iono them to a low count. Just, like, draw cards, potentially get, like, another Ralts down on the board. Okay, there's Power Glass. And, like, if all else fails, we're going to coin flip here. We're just going to go, like, Iono coin flip. I think that's the strategy. Okay, they're Ionoing here, too, so that's okay, because it hopefully will get me closer to that Stretcher or Super Rod. We did prize, actually, no, we did not prize a Stretcher, okay, because we only have 2. So there's 1 in the deck. All right, this hand is, like, pretty decent. I think what we're going to do here, we got the turn that we need. So go Earthen Vessel. I just really need to thin all these energies out. Unfortunately, I am shuffling the deck, but I do have multiple card outs anyways to that, so I should find it. Go Ultra Ball, getting Kirlia down. You know, I could also just hold here. That's like another thing, is I could hold and not do anything and just like Scream Tail KO the Squawk, and if they miss like the switch boss play, then I could go Drifloon KO. I honestly am thinking about it. If they KO, like if I bench another one and they just like KO the Kirlia, I can't even go into it the next turn. So it's kind of like the same thing, I think. I just don't think I need to do it. I think I'm just going to Scream Tail here. Because if they just KO the active, I just win. The reason why we did this is because I can intentionally go onto odd price cards, because I know I can't deal with 2 Zoroark, but I can deal with 1 Zoroark and a 1 Prizer. So now what the line has become, Secret Box is good, is just please don't find Switch Boss. That's like the one thing. But if we can then just go, like they KO us, we go Gardevoir, Drifloon, KO them, then all we just need is Scream Tail for game, because we can go KO and then Scream Tail for game. So this is really close. This is crazy. Okay, this is crazy, crazy close game. It really is like, this is like the swing turn. Now, if they do get KO on the Kirlia and go down to 3 prizes, we have a backup option. And that backup option is just like Iono and hit with Mind Bend. That's kind of what we're looking for here. We're going to potentially also need another stadium to bump that Ends Castle, which is also kind of a concern here, because if they get it on board, we need to move it, or else Mind Bend doesn't actually work, because they can just go in between their Zoroarks, which is a huge issue. So we'll see. Anyways, there's Morty's Conviction, going to be drawing some more cards. Now, the huge thing about this is that this means that we will be able to get a Drifloon attack off if they don't have Counter Catcher Switch. That's the big thing. So might have gotten ourselves bailed out here by finding another line, but we'll see. Anyways, there's the Munkidori. This is not a huge deal in this matchup as long as I don't leave, you know, too much damage on the board. I was able to safely put 80 on Squawk. Okay, there's Ends Castle, because of the fact that they didn't have bench space for this Munkidori. So this is the turn here. Do they have Counter Catcher? Because if they have Counter Catcher, I'm in trouble. But if they don't, I'm feeling really good about this spot. I think we'd be in a great, great, great situation. So yeah, looking at the list that normally play, they normally don't play. Actually, they do a lot of the time. Yeah, okay. Looks like a lot of the time they do play 2 Counter Catcher. Okay. I was looking at a list that saw some success, and it looks like 2 is actually like kind of normal, I guess. So we'll see. All right, there's the Zoroark coming up into the active here. This is the big thing here. Do they have the CC? Oh, it looks like they don't. All right. That's big. Very, very big, because now we're going to be able to take the KO on the Zoroark and get Gardevoir down and pretty much put ourselves in a dominating position. So, all right. Promote the Drifloon has that Bravery Charm. We have plenty of energies left as well. So things are looking really good here. We're going to be able to just simply, I guess I probably should have promoted this to move 30 over. That's like, oops. Kind of got a little excited there, but the damage doesn't actually matter, I don't believe, whatsoever. We'll go 1, 2, 3. Actually, never mind. I actually don't want to put damage on the board. I take that back. I actually don't want to put damage on the board because there's a Munkidori. I made the right play. Never mind. Because if I put 30, they can just like put 30 back on me and then take, you know, 3 prizes. Okay. Yeah, that would have been a disaster if I did that. So I made the correct play. Okay. Yeah, there's 5 energy on here. That's really good. I can now also just Iono them to 3 here. I can also Stretcher Screamtail. There's like no downside of just Stretchering Screamtail here on the board because they can't KO Drifloon and also Screamtail. So we'll go here. Iono, Stretcher, Artazon. That seems fine. All right. Stretcher, Screamtail, Screamtail on the board. Artazon here can just get me. I mean, I guess I can just get another Munkidori. It probably doesn't matter. This actually does give me a second line, which now, like, next turn, what I could do is I can go double Munkidori KO with Clefairy, which is actually pretty cool. Because if they, like, for some reason, I don't know. I don't think there's any way they can, like, now win. But if they were able to, like, make sure I couldn't Screamtail for game, then I would just go Clefairy. So, all right. Looks pretty good here. We'll utilize that Balloon Blast for 300 damage, taking the knockout, and I don't know as much they can do here. So they got the Jamming Tower. That would be very unfortunate if they do end up playing that, but the majority of Zoroark lists, as I do most often think don't play the Jamming Tower, so it'd be good, but we'll see. All right, there's the energy attach. There's the Stretcher. What's this again? Manatan. That doesn't matter because of our Rabsca. No canceling Cologne as well, which is nice. And there it is. Night Joker, 340 damage. Very close game, but we were able to take it down. We are just going to be able to promote that Screamtail and utilize that Roaring Scream to take down that Munkidori. So let's use that Embrace. 1, 2, 3. And Roaring Scream for 120, taking out that Munkidori. So, anyways, that was a really, really close game. Glad we're able to get a good one in. And anyways, that is going to do it today for the video. Let me know what you think of the deck in the comments. And with that being said, thanks for all the support as always. I appreciate it. This is Smart TCG. I'll speak with you guys again soon. Peace out.